We are the official partner series of the British Superbike Championship. Bringing you the action so far today has been myself, Liam Hodgins, and alongside me, Chris McCarthy. So we've got the mini GP50s out next, and this is our final championship decider, as we have 4 riders that can take the championship in the final race of the season. Kyle Payne leads the championship by 1 solitary point ahead of Harrison Crosby. 13 points from the lead is Josh Bannister. He has won both races so far this weekend. And then Ryan Hitchcock is a further 25 points further behind. So Kyle Payne can take the race. Kyle Payne, Harrison Crosby, Ryan Hitchcock, Josh Bannister. Who will take the championship here today? Well, we can see it all wrapped up in the next 12 laps. And starting on pole position, it will be Josh Bannister, who has won both races so far this weekend, ahead of Ryan Hitchcock. And then Lucas Brown will be in 3rd. Kyle Payne will be next up in 4th. And then Harrison Crosby will be in 5th. Your former championship leader, Carter Brown, who picked up his first podium of the season earlier on today, will be in 6th. Harrison McKay in 7th. Then it will be Ronnie Harris on row number 4 and 8th spot. Ollie Horner will be next up on bike number 70 and 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Holly Harris. Ben Jolliffe will be going off row number 6 and 11th, ahead of Finnan Wedity on 12th spot on the grid. Luke Schofield next up in 13th, ahead of Sylvan Mounty in 14th. Starting on row number 8 will be the 100 of Cameron Sewell in 15th spot, ahead of Jacob Stevenson. Then Aston Dean on row number 9, and rounding out the runners and riders is Philippe Soderwick on bike number 75. And starting you off for the final race of the mini GP50s for 2019 is Chris McCarthy.
Right, here we go. Mini GP50 time. Who is going to be the champion? Well, there's a few riders that can do it. Kyle Payne, 4th on the grid, 390 points. Harrison Crosby in 5th, 389 points. Josh Bannister in pole position, 377 points back, just 13 points back, and the difference between 1st and 4th is 12 points, so really he needs 5th or back for the rest of the field. And then we have Ryan Hitchcock on the outside of the front row, 374 points. He still in the mix as well. Who's going to be the champion? We'll find out at the end of 10 laps for the final time of the season. We're about to see the green flag in mini GP50. It's been a titanic battle throughout the season. All 4 would be deserved champions, but sadly in racing there can only be one winner. For the final time, let's get ready to go racing. Away we go. Josh Bannister gets a good start, and he's going to lead us down to turn 1. But diving down the inside is Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown takes the lead through turn number 1. Josh Bannister really needs a win here to stand a very good chance of taking the championship, and he is going to be in 2nd place as they tip their way in towards turn number 4. Josh Bannister trying to get on the front foot, trying to take that lead back from Brown. You spotted something, Liam?
As Harrison Crosby is up the side of Kyle Payne, that is a move that is decisive for this championship. There's 1 point between them, but Harrison Crosby has more race wins.
Yeah, well, that's the main head-to-head. It's Crosby versus Payne. Whoever finishes ahead on circuit wins the championship, unless Josh Bannister can do something about them. Of course, he starts from pole, and with the form he's been on, it's been hard to look against him, but it's Kyle Payne versus Harrison Crosby for this lead, and a move for the lead. Josh Bannister takes the lead as we go on to lap number 2. So Josh Bannister into the lead, or does he? No, Brown getting back past. Well, a hectic start to the race. Bannister in 2nd, and it's all kicking off between the 2 leaders, Payne and Crosby. They're split by 1 point as we go on to lap number 2.
This is incredible scenes. There was a move up the inside from Josh Bannister in turn number 4. He did make a stick. Lucas Brown still in the lead of this race. Carter Brown in 4th, but there's a change of 4th. Has Harrison Crosby. Harrison Crosby is ahead of Hitchcock. If he stays there, he will be the champion. He will be the champion of 2019. He's now in 4th. If Josh Bannister can't make it into lead of this race, Harrison Crosby will be the mini GP50 champion of 2019. But Josh Bannister is looking everywhere he can to make a move on Ryan Hitchcock, tagging the back of Crosby. That is sad. Kyle Payne is detached from this group now, but coming across start finish line to come Lucas Brown in the lead of this race. Josh Bannister up this end, but here comes Crosby. Crosby's looking at the side of Carter Brown. He doesn't need to do anything silly as long as Crosby finishes ahead of Payne and stays inside the top three. He will be the champion if he stays in fourth and Bannister takes the lead of this race, which he's trying to do now. He will become champion. Bannister could become champion today, so could Crosby. It doesn't matter if Payne finishes in sixth, he won't be champion today. But there's the points as they stand now. 402 for Crosby, 400 for Payne, Bannister on 397 and Hitchcock on 385. The top six are nose to tail. A second covers them for the time being. A rider is pulling off the edge of the track. I believe that's Philippe Sudowijk, the young German Polish rider here, but he's pulled off the edge of the circuit. Another lap about to be complete, and Josh Bannister up the inside of Brown. A great move there into the final corner, across start finish line to come, and he takes the lead of the race. Here comes Brown. Brown lay on the brakes, had to make a stick, runs a little bit wide. Bannister pushes Brown wide. Carter Brown comes round the outside. Is he into second, or will it still be Lucas Brown? It's still Lucas Brown. Then Carter Brown has to slot back into third. Harrison Crosby must be thinking, I don't want to get involved in this. I've got a championship to win, but it doesn't matter. He's trying to go up there instead of Carter Brown anyway, Chris.
Yeah, this is all kicking off, isn't it? Bannister leading the way after a fantastic move. Lucas.
No, goes Crosby, and Ryan Hitchcock's down.
Ryan Hitchcock on the ground. Crosby delayed. So Hitchcock now taken out of this championship fight with an instant that happened ahead of him. Harrison Crosby in picture, stayed on the bike. How crucial will that be at the end of this race as they come in towards turn number 8? Sat in just behind there is the number 25 of Kyle Payne. Kyle Payne now staring at his championship rival. Kyle Payne needs to get back past to win this championship. It's a race to the line. It's whoever finishes ahead wins the championship between these two. It is as simple as that. And at the moment, Bannister is not doing enough to stop either of them as they come through turn number 2 on lap number 4. This is it, Crosby versus Payne. Unfortunately, that incident taking out Ryan Hitchcock, and what a shame it is for him after a fantastic season. There was a dive down the inside there. Now, was that for the race lead? I think that was Crosby versus Brown perhaps, as they make their way now down in towards turn number 7. Up towards turn number 8 we go. Bannister is well clear from this. This is actually the fight for second. So this is Harrison Crosby trying to get past Brown. There you can see the championship points, but they're about to change because Crosby has gone past Brown. So he's now got one bike between himself and Kyle Payne. This is very good from Harrison Crosby, but Brown loves the move at turn 1 and gets back past. Payne was trying to get up the inside there, and he has done. Payne now gets back past, and he's going to be the champion if the race finishes right now. Kyle Payne is champion.
This is anyone's race. Crosby's trying to look back up the inside of Kyle Payne. I can't believe Crosby's still in the machine after that. Up the inside in turn 5. Here comes Crosby. Crosby is up the inside. And can he make it? Oh, he had a bit of a moment coming out of there. So nearly chucking himself out of this race and out of this championship lead. Whoever finishes ahead of the other will become champion between Crosby and Payne. Or if they take each other out, Bannister will become champion. So Bannister is away and running in this race. He's coming across our finish line now before the other riders are even out of the penultimate corner. There's 5 laps remaining. Anything can happen in this race. I'm starting to lose my voice already. This race has been fantastic. So as they come across our finish line now, then we've got Brown ahead of Crosby. 5 laps remaining of this mini GP70 race number 3, and Harrison Crosby is looking up the inside. Has he made it? Has he made it? Yes, he has done. So we've got Harrison Crosby up the inside of Brown. Payne trying to go around the outside, running over the grass and through turn number 5 to go to the treacherous corner. A bit of a moment there from Crosby once again.
Well, that's very crucial, that from Crosby, because that move has put a lot of distance between himself and Payne. So that is Harrison Crosby extending his championship lead, but that's crucial. Payne has now got back into third. Oh, but this is not helping his chances at all. Kyle Payne, a lunge there from Brown, and it was a clean move as well. So Brown has just allowed Crosby to escape in second place. It's fantastic stuff. Crosby at the moment will be champion, and Payne is dropping back with every single corner. The gap between them is over 2 seconds, so it's not good news for Payne at all. Well, your order as 6 laps is completed is Bannister leads the race, then it is Crosby in second, then we have Brown in third place, Payne is fourth, McKay sixth, then it is Carter Brown in sixth, so McKay fifth, Holly Harris is seventh, then it's Stevenson, Jolliffe and Horner, Hitchcock, Schofield, Sudowick, and then we have Aston Dean. Live Championship update will come to you very shortly after that move has been made by Brown. Payne stuck in fourth place. Crosby running away with this championship. Live Championship 409 for Crosby, 403 for Payne. Then it's Bannister on 402, Hitchcock 378.
Yeah, Payne nearly making a move up the inside of Lucas Brown into the final turn. He can see his championship slipping away now. He did come into this race 1 point ahead, but with Crosby in second and Payne in fourth spot, that is a difference of 7 points. So 7 points will be enough for Crosby to wrap up this title with only 2.5 laps remaining. But Kyle Payne is still climbing all over the back of Brown, but Brown has been very late on the brakes and very aggressive into the hairpins in this Tattershall circuit to try and stop anyone from remaining ahead of him. But to make their way through into turn number 7, Brown's going defensive. Hitchcock, such a shame for Hitchcock, he moves out of the way, but a great run out of the turn number 7 hairpin from Kyle Payne. But will Brown try and retaliate later on the brakes? He does, but this has left Payne with a last opportunity to potentially try and catch Harrison Crosby with only 2 laps remaining, Chris.
Yep, 2 to go, and the gap for Payne to catch is, let's have a look as they come across the line. And almost a move there from Brown, but it is just over 2 seconds. That is the gap between Crosby and Payne, and the championship is on the line. If Payne can catch Crosby and get back past, then he will become the 2019 champion. But Crosby, who was 1 point behind coming into this race, at the moment this will be good enough for him to snatch the title back right at the death away from Carl Payne. It will be devastating for him, but in dramatic circumstances, Harrison Crosby could be the champion if it stays as it is. But there's still going to be one more lap for Payne to try and close this gap. Bannister starts what will be the final lap of the season as he crosses the line now.
Josh Bannister has done enough this weekend to try and mount a championship challenge. It was a tough ask for the number 2 rider. 41 points. He started this weekend behind Harrison Crosby in first. He's done all he can do. He's leading the final race of the weekend. He won races 1 and 2, and there's only half a lap remaining. Harrison Crosby nearly didn't get to the end of this race after Carter Brown fell off in front of him, and then Crosby smashed into the bike but stayed on. So he looks over his shoulder, sees that Kyle Payne is over a second behind. Crosby's down! No! Crosby's down! That's a championship gone for Crosby! Crosby only had half a lap to go, and he would be champion. That's left Kyle Payne. Kyle Payne sees his championship rival go down. He will now be champion. Then Bannister comes across the line, takes the checkered flag. Josh Bannister comes across the line in the final corner now. He done all he could. Josh Bannister will finish second in championship. Waves with delight as he takes the checkered flag. His third win of the weekend. But your champion of 2019, Kyle Payne, comes across the line and does it. Kyle Payne is the champion for the mini GP50s in 2019. Kyle Payne, what an absolute outstanding ride, an outstanding season from the youngster. Lucas Brown in third, Harrison and Crosby. Disaster for Crosby. He slaps his tank as he comes past us in the commentary box. He was in second. If he didn't crash out of that treacherous turn number 5, he would have been champion today, but he finishes in fourth. So Kyle Payne wraps up the championship in second position. Josh Bannister was your race winner.
I think they're lining up.
So Crosby is in tears. That's such a shame from Crosby. He put his heart and soul into that, and on the last lap he threw it all away coming out of turn number 5. But Josh Bannister takes the race win ahead of Kyle Payne and Lucas Brown with some burnouts in the background, Chris.
Well, this stage of the sport, it's all about learning for the future, And Harrison Crosby, he'll, I'm sure, look back on this. It won't be a happy memory for him, but it will probably teach him lessons that will win him an even bigger championship in the future. Harrison Crosby, a fantastic season, and no one can take away the wins, the podiums that he's taken. He fought until the last lap, but sometimes it's not meant to be, and Crosby will be a name to watch for the future. As will Carl Payne. He is the 2019 champion. Fantastic ride from him. Bannister came very, very close, tied on points with Crosby taking more wins. He finishes in second. Bannister will be third place. They fought all the way to the end. Crosby is absolutely devastated, and you got to feel so sorry for him. That is
such a shame.
Such a shame.
He's got his friends and family there consoling him, but wow, he's put in a fantastic season all season long, and it's so easy to do, especially at such a young age. But you know, Harrison Crosby will learn from this, and he'll come back stronger.
It's happened to the best, and Harrison Crosby has proved he could be one of them in the future. Well, this was the start. It was a dramatic start indeed. Lucas Brown diving down the inside there of Bannister. In the background, we had our two championship rivals, Harrison Crosby and Carl Payne, going head-to-head. Ryan Hitchcock was trying to get involved on the number 43 there as well. Those were the 6 leaders, and that's how close it was as Brown, he executed some brilliant moves down at turn number 1. Bannister was able to get back through on that occasion though, but drama would kick off later in the race. This was when Crosby got the run on Brown. He put a bike between himself and Carl Payne, and at this stage of the race, things were looking very good, and Carl Payne had a lot of work to do, but then Brown responded, brought Payne back into play. Crosby once again with the race turning on its head every single lap. Payne then was able to close back in slightly. Crosby, though, would still get his head down. He'd push on. He'd get back past, and it would leave Payne delayed by Brown in the background. Payne would eventually get back through. Had a big gap to chase on Crosby, though, 2 seconds to be exact, with 2 laps to go. Crosby was leading on the final lap, but sadly it just wasn't meant to be. That was the moment that Crosby lost the championship, lost the rear end, and his 2019 championship trophy fell away from him.